Hey, welcome back to the Passive Buddies podcast. In today's episode, we are talking about a hot topic in the digital marketing world right now, which is influencer marketing, the power of influencer marketing, and how to partner with influencers. Now, here is an influencer who will say he's not an influencer. It is our co-host, Brandon Duff. How's things, pal?
I am doing amazing, and no, I'm not an influencer, but yes, I am. I'm very excited to jump on another podcast again with you. I love being here in the mornings. It just brightens up my week. I just wish we did them a little bit earlier in the week, just so that I just can have Brian earlier in the week. I mean, that's if anyone's an influencer, it's Brian because I was the one that asked him to jump on the Passive Buddies podcast.
So we are talking about partnering, and yeah, I probably still don't class myself as an influencer either. And we're talking about partnering. We're talking about combining efforts and stuff like that. Ironically, I did actually suggest that to a couple of our students yesterday. I was like, "Hey, you guys would be a perfect fit to do something like we're doing." They didn't take us up on the offer, but oh well. But yeah, connecting with influencers. Why is it so crucial to partner up with people?
I think that there's a lot of different reasons. There is one, you have to think that you can do so much more if you're able to. I mean, what's great now is you have to think that we have this thing called ChatGPT, and we'll get in this in the next few episodes, and we talked about it before. But now it's like me and you together, plus the ability that we know of how to use ChatGPT is really like 1 + 1 = 5 because of like how powerful ChatGPT is. Like we have our kind of like our own personal assistant, we have each other, and then we can just produce more content. I mean, we always bounce ideas off each other, kind of just see what's working, what's not. You have someone there who's kind of in the pit with you, grinding. I think that it's super important to have someone in the pit that is there with you every step of the way to kind of keep you and hold you accountable. So I think there's a lot of different benefits. So I would say the top three for me, or is one, having someone hold you accountable. Two, someone to bounce ideas off of, to brainstorm with. So that's number two. And then my third one is someone who really just you can get a lot more done because you can play to each other's strengths and weaknesses and focus on what one person likes and the other person hates, and then kind of switch. And me and Brian talk about that quite often, and what he wants to take over and what I want to take over, and what we definitely enjoy in the online space and what we don't enjoy. And Brian definitely knows what I do enjoy and what I don't. So what about you, Brian? What do you think influencer marketing is, or not even influencer marketing, but partnering with people is so important?
And you know what? I've definitely got you back on that one. And I think we covered one just a minute ago, didn't we? We were like, right, no, it's all right, leave him. Don't put Brandon there. I was like, I'll sort that. It's fine. And yeah, as you say, like leveraging people's strengths is, as you say, like is great, isn't it? Like, so instead of me only having 24 hours a day, our business now has 48 hours a day based on obviously what me and Brandon could produce. Then couple that with obviously we've now put ChatGPT on the place, we can now get 10 times more done in the same 48 hours, and leveraging each other's, as you say, systems, knowledge, automations, skill sets massively helps. So partnering up with influencers, if you can get like a JV type scenario similar to what me and Brandon have got, then it does help. And I've seen that a lot in the affiliate and marketing space in the last 12 months. I've seen partnerships come together that I didn't really know would have been a partnership. There's a few people creating their own programs, and like people are becoming partners. And obviously, you've got the revenue split, which obviously people are like, oh, well, I'd rather have 100%. But you can, between the 48 hours and like obviously everything you can combine together, you can get more out of a 50% split than you probably could out of a 100% split because you can dominate the market a lot more. Now, being obviously choosing the right influencers to partner up with really does help that scenario and that situation. So it just makes life 10 times easier. So partner up with people, and this isn't my first business partnership. This is my second. And I learned a hell of a lot from my first, and obviously I'm glad to be in this one. Probably a lot more than I was with the first one. But obviously, that's no disrespect to the previous one. Obviously, I absolutely loved my time in digital closes. But as you say, for a fact that like it's the leverage, isn't it? Like it's the skill sets. It's people are just naturally good at different things. Now, you are naturally a sales like expert. Like you don't mind being in the DMs, you don't mind chatting to people. Me, I don't really like it at all. Like I can do it, I just don't enjoy it. I'd rather be creating content like this. I'd rather just create 10 times more content to not have to talk to someone, which sounds daft because I'm a social person, but it's just not me, is it? Like whatsoever. I don't mind coaching people, which is ironic, really. I don't mind coaching people,
Right.
but I don't want to talk to people if they haven't bought yet.
Yeah.
And like leveraging that sort of scenario is quite interesting. But in terms of like how to find people to partner with, like it might not be a JV scenario, like obviously similar to what we've got with Passive Buddies, but it could be a case of like you're paying them X amount, like in terms of paid shout outs, and that could be an influencer partnership with obviously a transactional fee. Like paid shout outs on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok can do really, really well. I've seen some people get a 27x return on their investment based on the right influencer. And you can use different programs. I think one's called, or like to find them without getting ripped off through Instagram DMs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think one's called, is it Shout Fame or Fame Swap or something like that? I've recently become an affiliate to them. But obviously to try and find obviously paid shout outs so we can leverage even more audience and different audience and tap into stuff like that. So you can find them through platforms like that, or you can naturally reach out to influencers you actually like and see what deals you can come up with. See if there's an affiliate link you can give them. Like I get emails all the time from people who are like, "Oh, I loved your review on Right Sonic. Can you do one for our platform?" Which was similar to Right Sonic, and actually knocked it back because his marketing strategy was shocking. And he was just rude. But like, approach them with how can you help them rather than how can they help you,
Right.
and you'll get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, I think that's super important. Is what you just touched on right there. Is when you're approaching someone who is that doesn't know you or is kind of a one-sided relationship, you definitely want to go in trying to see how you can make it a win-win-win versus just a win for yourself. I think that if you're able to approach a situation where you're like, I'm going to give you this, this, and this, I'm going to help you with this, and build that relationship, and then they offer to give back, I think that's a sure way to build a strong win-win-win situation, because one, you've already given some kind of value or support to them, and you didn't ask for anything in return. And a lot of who does this? RJ and I believe the Goat Farmer. Both of those people are ClickFunnels people, but they do the Dream 100, which you're very familiar with, and that's just obviously finding your top 100 people that you. And a lot of people do this wrong, so I'm gonna clarify something. It's you want to pick the top 100 people that will grow your business, but you want to pick it to you have like your A class, your B class, your C class. So you have like your Dream 100, but it's really like your Dream 300, because the first 100 in your C class are people that would grow your business and that you have a close tie to, but you just need to put in a little work. Your A class would be like your dream person that you'd want to like be on your show or your podcast or your partnership, but you have to gain through those ranks of C level, B level before you can even approach them, because they don't even have the time to meet with you. They don't have the effort, or they're so much way above you that anything you offer, unless it's short of $1 million, isn't going to help them. So you want to make sure that you are having an even exchange. And someone who is just above you, or maybe even 2 steps above you, to be in that Dream 100, that first Dream 100, versus say someone who's like making $10 million a year and you're making only 100,000, then there's kind of a bit of a difference in how businesses are ran at that point. And so you need to get to a point where you can be like, I can help you with this, or your audience would benefit from this because your business has grown to that level. And now it's more of, and you see this all the time, like, and I don't know, you probably see it more on YouTube, where a lot of influencers, larger influencers, are actually shouting out, be like, yeah, I just went to dinner with blah blah blah, or yeah, I was just reviewing this reaction from blah blah blah, and it's to highlight their channel in a non-showy way, just kind of a brief mention, but it gets that name in people's minds. And I see this a lot happening on YouTube, especially like with a lot of the people right around the 500 to 1 million subscriber range. Is a lot of people are doing shout outs to each other, or doing collabs. And I think if you collab in the YouTube space, you'll do really, really well. And in the business space and just online, you'll do really, really well.
Yeah, and as you say, like it's a great way to tap into other people's audiences. Like people naturally, you attract a certain type of person, and obviously your work like only does so much. Whereas someone else is going out and building something, like, so if you can go and then tap into what they've got, and it's like, right, okay, your name's now out there to say an extra 10,000 people, or like, and it helps just grow absolutely everything about it. So the idea of like personal branding and being able to build that personal brand will always be able to pay you. Because your personal brand does, like, it follows you around, so you can always get paid via a strong personal brand, and using influencer marketing to strengthen that, whether it's JVs, collabs, paid shout outs, any of these different things will massively help your own status from personal branding, and will increase your chances of success in affiliate marketing, in any type of online business, by having that combination.
Yeah, I think it's super important to have that combination. I mean, you can even go on podcasts. I mean, that's how I kind of got started. When I was kind of doing the rounds and building a brand, I was on a podcast with Steve Larson. I was on a podcast with Alex Sharfin. A lot of the top A-plus celebrities within ClickFunnels, not in real life, just in that group. But I was able to get on those podcasts and making those rounds, and people, because I was on those podcasts, was pretty much, I guess, influenced by association. So since I was close by, in a sense, in radius of them, being able to be on their podcast, I was able to gain status or influence just being on their podcast. So there's so many ways you can do it. But definitely building those relationships and building those partnerships. You know what they always say? They always say your net worth is related to your network. So make sure that you build a strong network so that your net worth grows.
100%. Do you know what? It is like, especially in this world, like obviously me and you like teaming up and combining is like massively helped like both of our personal brands. And obviously it's increased different things, and different things have grown because of it. And it's just obviously because we've known each other for a long time now, like building those relationships and growing that scenario will massively, massively help you. I've got certain people I can reach out to at any point, and either like we can do something together, we can leverage, we can grow something, or I can get an email put out to, or I can get someone in to do some coaching, like all of these different things through like growing that connection, as you say, that net worth. Now, if you sit there in your own little silo, you're always going to struggle, like, because everything's just so much easier with leverage, and people who don't understand leverage are going to struggle in business.
Yeah, that leverage is a huge growth component to business. I mean, literally leverage it could be leverage in a skill set. It could be leverage in money monetarily, or it can just be a leverage in influence. And I mean, that's how we built our real estate business, is through leverage, obviously leveraging the banks, leveraging our asset to take that that income from the asset and leverage it into another asset. But this is essentially what you're doing with people, is you're taking someone's skill set and leveraging their skill set to help with growing your business. So I think that leverage in any aspect of life is super important if used correctly. So I think that if you're able to leverage your audience, leverage your own skills, and leverage other people's skills, you'll do very well in business.
Fantastic. I think that basically covers everything in terms of influencer marketing. If you want to learn these skills and build these relationships, our Cashflow community is a great place to start because you get straight into a community of people like-minded looking to build cash flow online. So go ahead and click that top link in the description. And thank you so much for tuning into today's episode, and we will see you on the next one.
Peace.